Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Todd Nathanson.
And I'm Lena Morgan.
And this is Song versus Song. We are back to our 1980 metal songs bracket. Last 2022, we did Back in Black versus Crazy Train. And now we're going to do the other half of the bracket. Motörhead's Ace of Spades versus a Judas Priest song. It involves the word law.
Breaking the law.
Breaking the what?
Oh my God.
So you're supposed to say law.
I know.
It doesn't work if I don't do it in Rob Halford's accent, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I also, did not dress for the occasion. I realized I'm, very pink and gauzy today. I feel like if I showed up to a concert, I would get shot out of a cannon.
No, well, I, of course, am in full studded leather.
As far as you know.
Yes, as far as I know. I am dressed in black. That, black like the Ace of Spades.
You are the Ace of Spades.
I think so. I represent death.
So true.
So, you a big metalhead, Lena?
No. I mean, I like it. I wouldn't call myself a metalhead, though. I'm not headbanging.
Well, you don't really
I'm not at the headbanger's ball.
Well, the glorious thing about these two songs is that you don't really have to be. You can be the most casual of hard rock fans, but you know these songs back and forth, right?
Sure. You definitely know at least one of them, I think.
Really, just one?
I mean, I think it's sort of circumstantial. In my head, I feel like there has to be a whole generation of people who know Ace of Spades because it's like the last song on Guitar Hero, isn't it?
I was more of a rock band person.
Interesting.
But what I know Ace of Spades from was a different video game. That was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, 3, I think.
I don't know. And I never played Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but I had a lot of friends who I'd watch play Pro Skater, and that entire, I think 1, 2, and 3 soundtracks are burned into my brain. If you play the opening drum fill of Superman by Goldfinger, I could probably sing the entire rest, or at least the first 2 minutes before it runs out of memory space on the PlayStation 1.
Yes. Everybody's favorite Goldfinger album, the second one.
I had the second one, goddammit. I didn't have the first one.
I had both. This has got nothing to do with anything. Metal.
Well, I mean, that is part of it because Motörhead was the punk's favorite metal band. That's why they're on that soundtrack.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I kind of get it, but also of these two songs, that's not the one that feels like a punk song to me.
This is fascinating already. I like where this is going. All right. Sorry to everyone who said I should have put a Priest song against a Maiden song. Lena just made a face yeah, what were you thinking, you moron?
I mean, I saw those comments and I was like,
yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it makes sense to me. I certainly think of Priest next to Maiden more than I would think of anyone next to Motörhead. Motörhead's just kind of on their own. But these two songs feel of a kind to me, not just because they were humongous and they came out in the same year.
Yes, everybody's favorite year for pop music, 1980.
Great year for metal. Great year for heavy metal. Not so much for literally anything else, except country music. If you're a big fan of pop country, if you like Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, that was a big year for them. But 1980, great year for metal. And I've just always kind of associated these two songs together just because they're so, I don't know, simple. Is simple the word?
In a way, I mean, I don't know that I would say Ace of Spades is simple.
It's not simple to play. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But they are, I can see the connection. Like I didn't hear these two side by side and go, what were you thinking? You know, I mean, they're islands in the stream. That's what they are.
I think these two songs make perfect sense together. I bet they're both really fun to play. But unfortunately, I can't say that for sure because I don't play guitar. I can play like the bass line to Ace of Spades on piano, and that's very fun. But I'll break my hand if I try to get past the first chorus. But it's fun. You know, dun, 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 dun. It sounds pretty good, I think. I think I sound great doing it.
I bet you do think that.
I bet I do too. Which of these do you prefer?
What's the metric? Are you saying what song do I prefer, or which one's the better metal song?
Oh, I don't care about which one's the better metal song. Which one do you prefer?
I'm going to take Breaking the Law.
Interesting. Why is that? Because you said that Ace of Spades is probably like the one people still recognize, or like even if you're not a metal person, you can probably recognize that as a casual. I'd agree with that. I think Ace of Spades is like more present. When I first started getting into metal, they were still pretty neck and neck, but I feel like Ace of Spades has, you know, gone well above and beyond. So why'd you pick Breaking the Law? I
think it continues to speak to the moment. Part of it is that. Part of it is that I do think that this is a song that kind of occupies a liminal space between punk and metal in a way that I really like. Obviously, I'm very pro Halpern.
Halford.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Pro Halford. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I will say this. There was a thing that threw me, and it was that I looked side by side between Rob and Lemmy. Mm-hmm. Pictures of them when they were young. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who is hotter? And like, here's the thing. I cannot smell them. This is like all dating apps. And I know there's going to be a smell issue involved with at least one of them. But I will say, just on a raw image level, I was shocked to discover that I was giving it to Lemmy.
Oh, I'm not shocked to discover that at all.
He's so hot. Like young Lemmy. Holy shit.
I was watching, there was a Lemmy documentary that came out while he was alive, and it wasn't even really about the history of Lemmy. It was just like, look at Lemmy, look at how he lives his life. He's a cool dude. And one of the guys from Anthrax, Scott Ian, was like talking about, he's like, yeah, we would go to the same bar every day, and, you know, Lemmy would be there playing one of the video games, one of the arcade games, and he was always hanging out in these ridiculous tiny shorts. These ridiculous tiny jean shorts. And it was like,
go on.
And they were like, well, like, dude, why are you wearing these gay ass like tiny shorts? He's like, it's hot outside. What? And then they got a picture of it, of like vintage 80s Lemmy in these tiny shorts.
I love that for him.
Halford, you know, it's I don't think he's that good looking guy. I don't.
I mean, in the music video with the thin black suit, the short hair, and just like the one spiky cuff, it's not a bad look. And I would have to say, I mean, like, it really is like, it is a dating app situation. Because, like, yes, I am leaning towards Lemmy, but what does Lemmy smell like?
Lemmy.
Because I don't mind, like, I don't know why this has become the thing that I'm using as a metric, but here we are. This is the Lena era that you're in. Which man smells better? That's who wins. Who wins the matchup.
I feel like they probably both smell pretty similar.
I don't know about that. I'm not convinced.
I mean, leather doesn't
I'm
breathe.
I'm sure Lemmy
it?
smells like a gas station. I'm positive.
I feel like wearing leather makes you smell bad. I wouldn't know though. I've never worn it. Maybe.
I've only worn latex. I don't know. Just a lot of rubber. Me. Yeah. The point is, Lemmy's very attractive, and I think also too the other thing that made me consider like maybe I should just take Ace of Spades is because of the movie Airheads.
You know, I've thought about starting this this podcast by asking you who would win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God.
Trick question.
Lemmy
is God.
That's correct.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke. You know, something that's always bothered me about that scene, those guys asked the record stooge, who did you side with at the time, Van Halen or David Lee Roth? And I don't know what the correct answer was supposed to be.
Yeah, there's no right answer there. So true. But the record stooge is Harold Ramis.
Is it? I haven't seen it. I mean, I've never seen Airheads all the way through. It's only I only caught like the last half of it when it comes on a Comedy Central back when I was a kid on cable.
It's, I mean, like as like a low rent Wayne's World kind of like, I don't know. I think it's good. It's part of the Brendan Fraser oeuvre. You know, earns its right to be there with Encino Man and Dudley Do-Right. Wow. Anyway, so now we've covered the most important part, which is, I mean, like I did. I guess my question to you is, Lemmy or Halford, who is your boyfriend, Todd?
No, I'm taking this seriously. Don't worry. I'm trying to do my best for Halford, but I agree. It's Lemmy. It's absolutely Lemmy. Seems just like a fun dude.
I think that's fair. I feel very bad about this because, like, you know, Rob Halford is still alive.
Yes, he is.
Lemmy,
he might hear us slandering his looks.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not even that. It really, there's such something also, like I'm not thinking about, like, 2000s era Lemmy. I am specifically thinking about, like, early 80s, like, late 70s, early 80s Lemmy.
Does that make a difference?
It's a real vibe. Yes, it absolutely does. I think. Anyway, I also like going back to the things that I guess technically matter. Matter. This is a podcast called Song versus Song. Anyway, I think that part of my reasoning too was that like there is a Ace of Spades song to me on British Steel. It's the opening track. It's called Rapid Fire.
Oh yeah, I absolutely thought that. I put on British Steel just as a warm up to this podcast, and I was like, he's like, no, I made the right decision because I listened to that opening track. He's like, this is pretty Ace of Spadesy. It was going dun 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 dun.
The thing is, I listened to it and I was like, yeah, but Ace of Spades is the better Ace of Spades.
That is true. There is only one Ace of Spades, and it is you know.
And it is an entire record of songs that sound like the song Ace of Spades. Because truly, if there's another thing to know, it's that the album Ace of Spades is largely made up of songs that sound like the song Ace of Spades, but less good.
Yeah, but there's only one Ace of Spades. If you got a second Ace of Spades in there, someone's cheating. So.
But yeah, like Rapid Fire kind of reminded me that like it was a good idea to do a song that wasn't quite exact. And also made it easier to sort of, I don't know, I'm not saying that it exposes the flaws of Ace of Spades, but it did make me realize that there is something about Breaking the Law that feels ever present to me in a way that Ace of Spades doesn't.
Now, it's interesting you brought up which one was the most punk rock, because growing up, you know, I would watch all these VH1 metal countdowns, and they were always talking about how Motörhead was the punk metal band, just because they were like flying at breakneck speed. And the kind of the reason I don't really associate the two of them together, besides being metal bands, like Motörhead was always kind of sold to me, you know, coming from this way in retrospect, but like Motörhead was always sold to me as like the next thing. Like you had your Led Zeppelins, and then you had your, you know, whatever, the new wave of British heavy metal, and then you had Motörhead as a connector to like Metallica and Megadeth and everything that came after. So it is weird to me, but no, these came out at the same time. They were, you know, operating the same sphere.
Yeah, but I think you can hear the difference. I mean, also too, there is something to be said about the fact that like, once you get to Breaking the Law, that is a wildly different Judas Priest than what it is that you were kind of used to for. I mean, like, I guess they've had about 2 records worth that sound in that realm, but like, I don't know. I think that it's interesting to remind people that like Diamonds and Rust and like Beyond Realms of Death era Judas Priest is a very different animal. And when you listen to them in that context,
It's called Diamonds and Rust?
There is a song called Diamonds and Rust. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not the Joan Baez song? It is the Joan Baez song. Holy shit.
It's good. It's really good. And Beyond Realms of Death is great too. But like you listen to it and it's like, that is very much of a 1970s era. And I don't find myself thinking that like at any, like Motörhead has trends less in that direction. Like you listen to their music and it does sound more towards the future than it does towards the past.
I did like a little perusal of like the early Judas Priest stuff I'm not familiar with. And absolutely, once they hit the 80s, they're a different band.
Yeah, it's wild. And like, I can understand why at the time that might ruffle some feathers, might rust up some diamonds, if you will. But, I think that listening to that older stuff, it's like, yeah, this is good. But, I think especially like, Beyond Realms of Death, if you listen to it, it's very like, yeah, I mean, I love Dream Theater, but they've made like 50 albums across like 6 eons of music that sounds like that. And there's like 3 albums worth of good Dream Theater material, and then it's like, you could listen to Images and Words and be like, got it. You could listen to Seasons of Change, the like 25-minute song and be like, that is great. Moving on. And now a pop song. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's good that Judas Priest changed. I think that ultimately benefited them. And I think that, again, the thing that I appreciate about them is that you sort of feel like they're elements of sort of like the 1970s era and then a little bit of that 80s too. And I think that they sell both very well. And that is the thing that I really, I guess, personally gravitate towards. Are you going to take Ace of Spades?
I wasn't sure, but it's like, yeah, it's very easy. It's, no one's going to get on you for picking Ace of Spades. Like, and, Ace of Spades is one of the greatest songs of all time. Like, I could make myself go for Breaking the Law, but like my heart says Ace of Spades.
That's fair. But wait a minute. What song you're listening to when you're washing the dog?
Probably something for work.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I can listen to it to Ace of Spades like, I wash the dog.
Okay.
I can make it work. I don't have to be Beavis or Butthead.
That's like way back too. Washing the dog is part of the Liquid Television era, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. I have literally never watched Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, I always forget. What a weird thing about you.
So like Breaking the Law, I believe I was first exposed to through Beavis and Butthead, even though I wasn't allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead, because I remember kids in my class going, washing the dog, over and over again. I did not have remotely the context to understand that. I did not know Breaking the Law. I did not know Beavis and Butthead. And then they would do the Butthead laugh and voice, and I'd just be very lost. There's an episode of South Park where they, the parents are telling Kyle's like, you shouldn't follow everyone, just because they're doing it. You shouldn't be a follower. And like, Kyle's like, no, let me explain to you how it works in the real world. Everything I don't know makes me stand out and makes them more likely to kick my ass. I wish Dad had watched that before he banned me from watching Beavis and Butthead.
That is very true. This is,
I could have had good taste much earlier. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I could have not gotten the shit kicked out of me much earlier. I mean, like I was, the orchestrator of my own destruction, just because, I didn't like sports, and like people talked about sports a lot, and they all wore starter jackets, and I was like, I better buy a starter jacket. So I went and like tried them on, like I was trying on wedding dresses. And picking one that I thought was cutest. And I took one that I don't want to say which one it was, but like I wore it because I thought it was cute. And everyone was like, oh, you got that because you're a front runner. And I didn't know what that meant. But it did mean that I got the shit kicked out of me even more often.
This is, I don't mean to
buy starter jackets.
I don't mean to be laughing at your horrible trauma, But, you know, this makes a good segue because we've been kind of dancing around it. Does the fact that Rob Halford is gay, like, does that put a thumb on the scale for you at all? Because I remember when he came out, I remember that being a humongous deal.
It was. And like, I do think that, like, I don't know that I would say that it puts a thumb on the scale. Again, I truly do think that primarily sitting and like reading the lyrics of Breaking the Law in 2026 just hits. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, this is right. Like, this just like sounds like something that a trans person would write. Absolutely 100%. So I was like, yep, that's for me. But yeah, I mean, I think for sure, I also remember him coming out and being like, that rules, right? That's like, we live in hope for the day that like baseball players get to be like, I love dick. A lot of them do.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
like, it's not a thing that comes out. And like, it was a nice moment. It was a significant moment. Does it put the thumb on the scale for me? No. But do I appreciate Rob Halford? Of course. And every time you see him up on a stage, decked out in leather and shit, you're like, hell yeah, dude. Like, so happy for you, girl. Like, so real of you, bestie. Like,
yeah, it was a big deal that like literally the manliest genre that ever existed had, you know, one of its biggest stars was gay.
No, imagine that he was dating Lemmy. Perfect. What a dream.
You know, for what it's worth, Lemmy is an ally.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Lemmy was an ally.
Lemmy's not dead. Who are you kidding? Lemmy lives on.
Listen, he's rocking with Ozzy right now. That is who greeted Ozzy at the pearly gates of hell. Lemmy.
You can find like way ahead of anyone talking about this stuff. Lemmy being like pro-gay. He's like, can you drink? Then we can hang out. I don't care.
Yeah, Lemmy, it turns out there's a reason why like he was held in such high esteem.
Right.
He was a good man.
All right. So what is it about? So as, you know, an LGBT community member, you really do like Breaking the Law as a, I mean, like Rob Halford was literally the first be gay, do crimes guy. So he was gay. He was, you know, arguing for crimes because you don't know what it's like. I think that's
correct.
So when you said this was like the most punk rock of them, is that what you meant?
I think also the vibe of it too, because it's like you said, they're both simple. I think Breaking the Law is very simple in a way that punk rock tends to be.
Yeah, it's got. I don't know if I'd even clock it as a metal song necessarily. I remember it was one of the first metal songs I learned about, and I remember one of the reviews of it saying like that the bass line was almost insultingly simple.
Yeah, I think that the thing that makes it metal is the Breaking the Law part. you know, I think that's sort of the thing. But I mean, to point out the lyrics, I think this is really relevant, right? Like, there I was completely wasting out of working down. Trans people can't get jobs. Just saying. We get 60% on the dollar when we do. All inside. Hard to leave the house. It's so frustrating as I drift from town to town. Feel as though nobody cares if I live or die. So I might as well begin to put some action in my life. Breaking the law. That's max of gender, Todd.
Well, you know, I was doing my research. I literally never thought of this as like something deeper than just like headbanging shit. But like they were talking about it as like they were talking about like Thatcher era England. They were talking about coming out of like the industrial parts of England where everyone's out of work. And like this is like a social commentary song for them. And when they say you don't know what it's like, that, you know, that it's very pointed.
Yeah. You don't know what it's like to be the sad man.
You don't know. Man, I cannot do that part. I could do you've got another thing coming. I will do that at karaoke sometimes. And I've tried to do Breaking the Law, but that one, you don't know what it's like. I just can't. It's completely out of my range.
That's another one. You got another thing coming is also very different. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a very straight rock song to me. Like Joan Jett and the Blackhearts could do that song.
Yeah, they are, their biggest songs seem a lot more straightforward than like metal, like Iron Maiden's, Troopers and Running the Hill and, Flight of Icarus and all that. Like that to me is like legit metal. And this is like, I could imagine Joan Jett doing Living After Midnight easily.
I will say, do you think that there is a there to the fact that Ace of Spades is in Guitar Hero, but Breaking the Law is in nothing? Painkiller is in Rock Band.
The thing about Judas,
but not Breaking the Law.
The thing about Judas Priest versus Motörhead is that Judas Priest has like a lot of different modes, and they adapted with the times. They were, you can hear them changing, and Motörhead is just Motörhead, and Lemmy is just Lemmy. Motörhead. They went with Painkiller off of a Rock Band or whichever one it's on, because it is like the most insane, shredding, impossible to play on your little plastic instrument song that has ever existed. And Motörhead is just Motörhead. I like plenty of Motörhead songs. I can name more than one Motörhead song, which is more than most people can say. But Ace of Spades is obviously just their best song. It's just their best song, period. It is like, it's at the top for a reason. And I have to go with Ace of Spades because it doesn't really feel like anything can touch it. It's the top card. Nothing beats it. I can't even imagine a world without Ace of Spades. And it's interesting to me looking back. A lot of this was in reaction to punk. Punk came out in the late 70s, and the whole reason that there was a, quote, new wave of British heavy metal, which is what Priest was, and arguably what Motörhead is part of, is because people just kind of assumed that metal was over. It was a thing that happened in, the early 70s to, let's say, 77, and then now we got punk, and metal is over. And Priest and Motörhead were saying, no, it's goddamn not. Breaking the Law does feel like a punk song, and Ace of Spades does feel like a punk song. Ace of Spades is the one I'd always heard, like, this is the punk rock metal song. It goes so fast, it thrashes so hard, and it invented all the new stuff that came later. Like, Painkiller wouldn't exist if Motörhead hadn't beaten to them first. And, Metallica wouldn't exist. Obviously, Metallica, humongous Motörhead fans, and all the thrash stuff that came after, and all, even like the grunge and industrial stuff wouldn't exist without Motörhead. Like, you listen to Dave Grohl was like constantly at the altar of Motörhead. Like, it's like you can go back to like the 90s. He was like, Motörhead's the best band that ever existed. I love them so much. And he also has an Ace of Spades tattoo. That's right, he does. I just read that. I'm reading Dave Grohl's memoir right now. Interesting stuff in there.
I bet. I just bet.
But, like, so, I mean, we'll get to this in the questions, but, like, the shadow on Ace of Spades just is so long. Ace of Spades created everything. And I just, like, a song that is so big like that, it's kind of hard to listen to with fresh ears, which is why I recommend trying to play it on the piano sometime. But it's just also a good song. Like, you feel like you are about to smash your car into something and die when you're listening to it, even if you're just, washing the dog or whatever.
Wait, of Ace of Spades?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what
we've established that you can wash your dog to Ace of Spades.
Okay. All right. Here's what I think. Yes, I can hear that, like, you could be speeding your car into a brick wall listening to Ace of Spades. But Breaking the Law sounds like you're taking a baseball bat to a cop car. Which would I rather do? Not really much of a competition there.
Yeah, it's weird that, Breaking the Law doesn't really get taken seriously as a song of, like, rebellion and social commentary the way punk rock songs do. I think maybe the chorus is a little too goofy.
It's due for a reconsideration. Reappraise this song. It not even occurred to me that was going to be the thrust of this episode for me.
What?
That Breaking the Law needs a reappraisal.
It does feel like it because like metal songs aren't really considered to be like social commentary. You know, punk rock is for that. Metal is for, you know, morons. Morons in t-shirts.
Gay people can be morons. Come on.
Like,
anybody can be stupid, Todd.
Like all those original punk bands, the Ramones, the Clash, the Sex Pistols, they all got into the Rock Hall of Fame immediately. Motörhead is not in the Rock Hall of Fame. Judas Priest got in there as like kind of a bullshit thing. They invented like a new award called Musical Excellence, which is not the same thing as getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's like transparently a booby prize, and that's what Judas Priest got. It just doesn't get the respect.
Well, I think if I was going to induct one of the two of them, God, no, they both deserve to be in.
Obviously. Let me ask you this. What is your favorite song from both these bands?
I mean, I love the theme song for Triple H.
You ready for the game? Boy, I don't think Lemmy gets enough credit as a vocalist either, because no one sounds like him. No one tries to sound like him. You can find people who have that high scream, like not many, but you can find people who sound like Judas Priest. No one sounds like Lemmy. No one tries to sound like Lemmy.
Yeah, that's legit. I think that Ace of Spades is probably the one for me, but I will say that I really like We Are the Road Crew.
I love We Are the Road Crew.
Great song.
I remember hearing that was like an inspiration for No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I don't know how true that is, but
it could be. I really love You've Got Another Thing Coming.
I do too.
That might be my favorite Priest song, but like, I will say that there is a part of me that likes Beyond Realms of Death and would also like rank that very high.
Beyond Realms of Death. Which one? When is that?
It's like, I think like 2 albums before this. It's very 70s metal and a little proggy, and like I listened to it and I was like, you know, this is, I'm sure Dream Theater was influenced by this, and you know, I do. Again, just because I clowned on them a little bit doesn't mean that like Images and Words is not an S tier record for me. Very strong feelings about that one.
Yeah, boy, I'm listening to this now. Like, it is such a different band before British Steel.
I know.
Judas Priest. I mean, I would love to go with a deeper cut for Judas Priest. I think I do have to also go with You've Got Another Thing Coming, as made famous by a Burger King commercial. Although I do really have a soft spot for a song off of British Steel called United.
Oh, you like United? I have always been kind of iffy on that one.
I have to like it because it stops on the word stop.
Of course.
But like, believe it or not, my favorite Motörhead song, and it's always been my favorite Motörhead song, and it is not Ace of Spades. It is.
What is it?
This is going to sound so stupid. It is called Born to Raise Hell, off the Airhead soundtrack. And it was like one of the first ones I ever heard, and it is very good. It rules. It has both Ice-T and the guy from Ugly Kid Joe on it, backing him up. I assume this made sense in '94. Oh my God! It also stops on the word stop. What am I doing?
You have a problem.
I do. It was my
sickness.
It is my first favorite stop on the word stop. I think Motörhead have like a few like that do that. But, you know, it was like their most recent song off of, from their album when I first got into music. So that was like the first thing I found, and it fucking rules. Like, and it doesn't really sound much like Ace of Spades. It is a noticeably different song.
Well, I appreciate that. Again, the record Ace of Spades has a lot of songs that just sound like a less good Ace of Spades. Like that is, I mean, it's a fun album to listen to, but like once you've listened to Ace of Spades, for the most part, you got it. You know, I love the Road Crew song because it's a little different.
Mm-hmm. You know, there is a Motörhead song I also like called "Eat the Rich." It's better than the Aerosmith "Eat the Rich."
That I believe.
And so, if you need social commentary,
there is a band who has really like the bloom is so off the rose on poor Aerosmith.
Oh, really? You down on Aerosmith?
I think a lot of people are. Anyway, I'll tell you something that I discovered that also pushed me towards breaking the law.
What's that?
I heard Motörhead do it.
That is
and it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good.
I mean, it would be hard to make a better version of it, even if you're fucking Lemmy. You know, Lemmy is God, but you know, Rob Halford is also God. He's the Metal God. So
wow. Yeah, they're like a two-headed God. There you go. Yeah, it kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, okay. Although I will say, there is a great instrumental version of Ace of Spades done by the Chicks.
Really?
Yes. That's all like banjo stuff. It's really quality.
You know, I'm going to look that up right now, but like that is not the first banjo-y Ace of Spades I have heard this day.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh, wow. This kills. This is awesome.
I know.
No, I heard a banjo version of Ace of Spades early. It was like Lisa something. I'll have to look up.
I will say that like this is a thing that kind of lends itself to vote for Ace of Spades, that it is adaptable in this way.
Mm-hmm.
A cool note about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I found any decent covers of Breaking the Law. I listened to the Motörhead one. It's. Yeah,
I don't really think that is as. I don't think it quite has that going on. Whereas, like, yeah, you can apparently Ace of Spades is a steak you can really country fry. Like,
our mutual friend Underberger showed me a while back an amazing cover of Ace of Spades. It was by a band called Drain STH, and it is at about half speed. And you listen to that version, and it was like, man, this is a solid ass song, because even when it's not going at a breakneck pace, it still fucking kicks ass. It's more of like a slower sludge metal kind of thing.
I mean, I love that.
It rips.
Well, do you think you're ready to do the questions, or do you have more?
I refuse to believe Lemmy's dead.
Wow.
I believe he lived forever, even though he said exactly that that's not what he wanted.
Well, he also said that he didn't really like playing Ace of Spades live after a while.
Of course not.
But, you know, he was like, we still played it because, like, you don't, like, I forget what the answer he gave, but it was like, he named, like, some band, and he was like, you expect them to play this song.
I saw it was, you expect Little Richard to play Long Tall
Sally.
Sally.
That's right.
I think it's funny. He's like the biggest Little Richard fan in the world. He modeled everything he did off of him. He just, you know, Little Richard also went at like a breakneck pace when he was on stage. He just let it all out there. Like he didn't have like a metal guitar, unfortunately, but like with his piano, he fucking tore the place apart. So
you know what? I believe there's a decent chance that Little Richard walked around in little shorts.
All right. Let's do the questions.
Okay. So after we've talked a bunch of nonsense, we try to take all that nonsense and guide it through these 4 questions. 4 brilliant, well thought out questions that for some reason we've been doing for almost 8 years.
I can't believe that. Oh,
shocking.
I don't want to live forever either.
Well, who wants to live forever anyway? First question is a question of history. One of these songs is going to stick around. The other one's going to disappear like it never existed. For the culture, which song has to stay?
That's an easy one. Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades.
I don't know.
I
guess that's true, but like, I don't know. Losing Breaking the Law makes me sad.
I mean, losing either of them would make me horrifically sad. But there's one right answer here. Ace of Spades, like, all hard rock from that point on is kind of downstream of it. There's not really a question for me.
I guess my concern, Todd, is that without Breaking the Law, in the future, if I fought the law, will the law win?
That is a good point. You know,
the law is currently winning a lot anyway. I will tell you, it's a rough 2026.
One thing I really love about the Breaking the Law video is that at the end you see the bank guard, like he's jamming out on his own little fake guitar because, you know, breaking the law rules so fucking hard.
But the V is backwards.
You know, he's a cop. He doesn't
know. Okay. I'll accept that as canon. Anyway, all right. I guess I'll begrudgingly, I understand the logic, but it hurts my heart. Question number 2. You can experience soup to nuts the creation of one and only one of these 2 songs, including the music video if you wish. Which is the one where you want to see how the sausage got made.
I feel like if I have a chance to hang out with Lemmy, I should really take it. If I just have a chance to be around him and soak in his aura, I should. I'm sure I could have a lot of fun hanging out with Priest too, but like, I don't know. Priest did not seem like that. They were having that much fun. I don't feel like.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's possible. I don't have an answer to that. I will say that having recorded this podcast, I do have this yearning to answer the question, does Lemmy smell like a gas station complimentary
or derogatory? Yeah.
Gotta know. So yeah, I'm willing to go. And especially if he's wearing the shorts. God, I can't guess I get to go back to 1980 and sleep with Lemmy. Sounds good.
You know, you mentioned earlier that, you know, Halford's suit in the video. I'm looking at it now. It's a pretty nice suit. He's not wearing the leather in that. He's just wearing like a black suit.
I'm saying I don't know that he's got the smell in 1980. I'm not sure how smelly he is.
And it's a good fit. It's a good fit.
I know. He looks cute in that. Like, this is the other thing. Like, it's a good look. Rob's looking good in that video.
He does. But I always thought he looked...
Credit where credit is due.
I always thought he looked more metal as he got older and his, you know, he shaved the head, got the beard and the glasses and all that.
Sure. All right. Question number 3. Megan Thee Stallion, getting up to a night of hot girl shit. One and only one of these songs is going to be on the playlist as she gets ready for said night of hot girl shit. Which one is hot girl shit? I don't know why. There's got to be a way to say this without saying hot girl shit 20 times.
I feel like you should leave it the way it is. It is kind of essential to how these questions are set up. But the answer to the question, I don't know. That one's a lot closer. I feel like you could absolutely get up to a lot of hot girl shit with Ace of Spades. I feel like Lemmy may, in fact, have gotten up to a lot of hot girl shit with Ace of Spades. But, like, if you are not just up for a hot girl shit, but you're kind of pissed off, too, having angry hot girl shit, you could do a lot with breaking the law.
I'll tell you what. It's unfortunate that Lemmy is no longer with us because we could have had a twerk off, and that would have settled this debate.
I don't know.
Which one of these men can shake that ass?
Lemmy can do anything.
That's true, but I don't know. I kind of feel like oh my God, this cat is attacking me. I kind of feel like we're doing a disservice to Rob Halford. If we don't, it seems really insulting. Why are we doing this to you, Rob? Like, doing you really dirty on this question. Like, I don't want to assume that as you know, like, not all homosexual men can twerk, but some of them can.
He's so skinny, man. He's such a skinny man. Like, I
guess it's true. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of does feel like Lemmy's the one, doesn't it? In the shorts. This information about the shorts has been transformative.
You know, there was actually like a fake interview or a rumor going around in like 20 years ago that Lemmy was bi or something. That was like a fake quote going around and he had to deny it, but like it did seem plausible. I'm reading the old quotes and it's like it's fake, but it seems real.
It's a shame.
Yes. I did a video on Frankie Goes to Hollywood and like he did a set with them. He sat in on Relax. You know, Lemmy, cool guy.
I mean, listen, that is pretty gay.
Well,
that's pretty gay, Todd.
It is. There was like hot women like dancing around too, and so like he was like openly like looking them up and down. So no homo. But
it doesn't matter.
He was still, in fact, performing with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, performing
doing
Relax.
The song about relaxing your muscles. Anyway, wow. Fourth and final question. Most important question, not just of the show, but in all human history. William Shatner. Thespian, equestrian, singer, we're going to give it to him. He's going to do a William Shatner version of one and only one of these two songs. Todd, which one of these songs must be shat upon?
I feel like there's not much he could do with Ace of Spades. He would just kind of road out it
all the way.
Yeah, like it's got to be breaking the law, because it is such a dramatic monologue. A drifter down on his luck. It's like, you don't know what it's like. You don't have a clue. If you did, you'd find yourself doing the same thing too.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it lends itself really well, actually.
This is an example where also as a bonus, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's possibly true of Lemmy too, but I know Rob Halford is a sci-fi fan. I don't know if he's a Star Trek fan, but you live in hope. Would be nice. There you go. Captain Kirk doing Breaking the Law.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Captain Kirk was breaking the temporal laws all the time.
He was. He was a menace.
He was a menace, a known menace. He was breaking the laws, the temporal prime directive, every which way. And it would be him. He would be the most law-breaking captain if it wasn't for the other ones.
Yeah, but, he was also...
If it weren't for Cisco and Janeway, who break the law every week. Janeway, the most law-breaking captain in the history of Star Trek.
Yeah, she murdered Tuvix. I feel like Kirk was also a gambler. He was very much a gambler, and he didn't want to live forever either. So I think he might be able to get down to Ace of Spades, but Shatner could not.
It's fair enough. Yeah, he's the Ace of Spades. Where does the Ace of Spades fit into Fizbin?
Into what?
It's a game that Kirk makes up.
Yeah, I am conversant with Star Trek. I'm not fluent.
I know. Listen, that was for the nerds. I love you, nerds.
All right. Well, we have talked and talked and talked. It is time for the reader comments. I'm going to start with the first one we got, just because it is relevant. Hannibal Montana writes, the gayest man in metal versus the most heterosexual man in metal. I think, Mr. Montana, we have determined that is not quite true.
Yeah, we're not 100% on it.
Yes. Right. Dangmo writes, there are so many better Priest songs, but if you tell me Ace of Spades isn't top 10 Motörhead, you're a liar. Like, you'd have to be a pretty serious Motörhead fan to be a snob about Ace of Spades. All right. Mara Copeland writes, my bestie and I make jerk-off motions and saying, cranking my hog at each other when we make a masturbation joke. We're both grown women.
I love that for you.
We got a lot of washing the dog comments and various parodies of breaking the law. All right. For example, Trash Packer 4500 writes, I'm going with breaking the law because, one, I'm gay and I got to pay my respects to Rob Halford, and two, whenever I hear it, it reminds me of my uncle who always sang it as breaking a log about taking a dump.
I really thought that was going to a lumberjack place.
No, it was about pooping. I choose to believe that this would happen even if Beavis and Butthead didn't exist.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I will also say that, like, breaking the log being about poop is peak uncle behavior. So I don't know why it was that I thought it could be anything else. All
right. MJS writes, breaking the law feels like it was written by narcs. Oh, I sure do love breaking the law, don't you, fellow lawbreaker?
I'm going to disagree. I think the rest of the lyrics suggest that somebody is a part of the rainbow coalition of people who's having a tough time.
Right. Russet Burbank writes, Beavis and Butthead were actually disappointed by the Breaking the Law video. No way Lemmy would let them down like that. You guys more conversant in Beavis and Butthead will have to tell me how they reacted to the Breaking the Law video. I think the Breaking the Law video is cool.
Yeah.
They break into a bank and that's cool. That's cool.
It's iconic and goofy. It's very like culty,
Yeah. All right. Alex Georgianis writes, Motörhead fool, attributed to Ice-T. That is always what I think of when I think of Motörhead. It's in the Born to Raise Hell video. Ice-T just shouts, Motörhead fool. And I think that is cool.
Motörhead fool, indeed.
All right. Nico Niconi writes, no funny comment here. I just want to recommend Brutal Legend, the video game that has Lemmy and Rob Halford as voice actors, along with so many other famous metal people. Play it if you love metal and witty dialogue. I have always meant to, and I just never got around to it.
Is this the Jack Black game?
It's the Jack Black game, yes.
Okay.
All right. David Yurch writes, the way Rob Halford continually repeats Breaking the Law's title makes it sound like he was goofing off when he was supposed to be carrying out some kind of criminal operation, and now his higher-ups are calling him to ask for an update, so now he's unconvincingly trying to sound like he's in the middle of committing a crime. How's it going? Breaking the law.
That's, like...
Yes.
Recording a podcast.
Yeah. All right. Charlie L. writes, I remember illegally downloading Breaking the Law back in the day. That's awesome. And he adds, kids these days don't know what it's like.
Yeah, do you know how slow my download speed on Napster was? Do you have any idea how hard it was to use Audio Galaxy? How shitty Kazaa was?
Boy, I remember getting the wrong version. I got a live version. I was really upset. But that is why I know how the intro goes. Breaking the what? Law. All right, Kyle King writes, Motörhead has one type of song, and Ace of Spades is the best of that type of song. Judas Priest has a much wider range and also way more classics, but we already know the answer to question 1. You were right. There was no real way to put it. They won question 1.
They did.
Emperor Tiger Star writes, okay, but you have to admit, robbing a bank with guitars to steal your own album is just about as cool of a concept for a music video as possible.
Well, they stole their gold record. And the thing is, if you know anything about gold records, it's not your record that's on it.
Eero S. writes, our local rock station has a long-running news show called Motörhead News, where for a minute, the host sings Ace of Spades with lyrics about current events and next day's weather. You'd think the joke would get old really fast, but with the state of the world, this delivery makes more and more sense every day.
God, these times are bad. Wow. That's so upsetting. I mean, great. But, wow.
I guarantee you, if I had a station that gave me current events in that style, it would never, ever, ever get old. I would listen to it every fucking day.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair. Get into it.
Right. The Common Man writes, hi, Common Man. The Common Man writes, fun fact, Rob Halford has a bullet necklace filled with some of Lemmy's ashes. One of Lemmy's last wishes was for these bullets to be given out to his friends and favorite bars. That is awesome. Anyway, I'm flipping a coin on the songs. You might as well ask me which kidney I like best.
Oh, that makes me sad, but
Yes,
also happy.
It does. All right. Connor Rankin writes, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Motörhead parody I came up with the day you announced this mashup called Aches and Pains. I've yet to figure out if it's about arthritis or the Three Stooges injuring each other. Which one is funnier? Connor, it is absolutely the one about arthritis. You have to write it now.
I don't know why you've said this, because now he's going to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to listen to it. But
oh, my God. You're a monster.
I'm a terrible person. I am the anti-Lemmy.
I don't... Prove me wrong. I don't think there's any way the execution is going to be as good as just the idea.
Aches and pains. I mean, he did always kind of sound like he was in pain. So, all right.
He did, well, those shorts were very tight.
All right. Traps writes, People talk about punk being the soundtrack of the Grey Thatcher years, but those people are wrong, plain and simple. Punk was for rich kids playing rebel down in London, and London was doing all right. The real soundtrack was heavy metal, which mixed the escapism of fantasy themes with a martial nationalism, which had long since faded, having any real grounds for Britain, with righteous anger like in Breaking the Law. Johnny Rotten singing about anarchy was a pose. Rob Halford waving goodbye to a golden future was genuine, and people noticed. This was music for guys named Nigel in some nameless deindustrialized shithole upon Tyne. Ace of Spades is all right, though.
It's a good comment. I don't know how much it holds up.
Yes.
I mean, certainly, like, if you're comparing them to the Sex Pistols, sure.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm comfortable painting all of British punk with that broad a brush. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And certainly all punk in general. I'm not sold.
Let's say it's directionally correct.
Yeah.
I love the word direction, the phrase directionally correct. It means wrong, but
nicely.
Yes. Brian Thiessen writes, Daryl was completely wasting, out of work and down, versus, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live with Trevor. It's like you mashed up two of my favorite misheard lyric in-jokes my friends had back in the day. I did not know that the Daryl line was wrong for like 15 years. I thought it was about a guy named Daryl. I swear to God.
And you know what? So did Daryl.
Poor Daryl. Completely wasting.
And his other brother, Daryl.
That is was it Newhart? I never watched Newhart.
That is a Newhart reference. You're welcome.
Yes. All right. Last one from Tom Shapira. I'm going to cast a vote, even though I know I'm going to lose, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. All right. Well, those were the comments. Remind me what comes next. I've completely lost my brain.
We do the reveal. Although, do you want to say what you think the best part of this is like the thing I forgot to do?
What's that?
I want to do what's the best part of Ace of Spades? What's the best part of that song?
Oh, opening 2 seconds.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely. Do you have a different answer?
I mean, I like when it kind of quiets down and it's a little more chunky and they're doing like, I'm born to lose and gambling's for fools and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and then they're like, and don't forget the Joker, and then it goes into the solo.
Yeah. I mean, my second answer would be, and don't forget the Joker. I almost forgot the Joker. Good thing we caught it at the last second.
Important.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best part of Breaking the Law?
You don't know what it's like. There's not really a lot of parts to that song.
I like that part a lot too. I also like that's like they do that and then they use the guitar to make a sound that sounds like a police siren.
Yeah, that is cool.
And then they go right into the longest repetition of Breaking the Law.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that whole section kills. Okay, great. What are the results?
All right, what do you think of the results are?
I think Ace of Spades is like way ahead.
Way ahead? All right.
Yeah.
Well, here's the answers. For a total of 558 to 301, that is a 65-35 split. We have to lay down the Ace of Spades. Unsurprising. Totally, completely unsurprising. But, that's a good showing, considering it's up against Ace of Spades for Breaking the Law.
I think yeah. I truly do think that a big part of it is the Guitar Hero element, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think that like, again, like that's not to try to like take any of the shine off of the song itself, but like, I think that it found a lot of new life. When that happened, I think that is a song that like the reason why that song lives in perpetuity to the extent that it does is at least in part due to that.
All right. Well, we'll do Green Grass and High Tides versus Painkiller next and see what happens. But all right, that was song versus song. We love doing this, or at least we still do it. And if you enjoy it, why don't you go to our Patreon and donate us some money? We we always need it. Times are tough out there. We love you guys, and you could show us a little love back. Go to our Patreon, and you will get our bonus episodes where we review one movie every month. This month, you guys are making us review the Daft Punk movie, not Tron Legacy, not the live show. It was Interstellar 5555. We got to do that at some point this month. And if you guys can vote on it, and or if you can't do that, just, tell us everything, tell people about what a good show we have. We're entertaining, I think, aren't we?
Yes.
I don't like that 2-second pause. But, and of course, we got some links down in the description if you want to donate to, trans people in general. Like, these are some good charities. We're always trying to do our best out here. And one more thing. Are you ready for the next matchup?
Maybe.
Unfortunately, we've got another hard rock one coming up. We will be doing Like a Stone by Audioslave versus Best of You by the Foo Fighters. Oh, don't worry. You'll like it. I promise you will.
Will I?
You will. You will. Don't worry. I promise. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
With Verbal's last-minute deals, you can save over $50 on your spring getaway. So whether it's a mountain escape with friends, a family week at the beach, or sightseeing in a new city, there's still time to get great discounts. Book your next stay now. Average savings $72. Select homes only.